Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fatima Hodge. I'm an active prophetess representing Master Suleiman, Ambassador of the Covenant.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Brother David Hodge. Welcome.
Alright, sisters and brothers, today we're going to be exposing who Satan is. But first we're going to get started with identifying the history of the black man and woman, which is the Horrorcust.
All right, brothers and sisters. So our experience was the Horrorcust. It was murder. It was rape, genocide, torture, torment, experimentation, misery, and complete oppression. This is our true experience, but they whitewash it and call it slavery, which we know that slavery is not a good definition or expression of our true experience because it leaves out the affliction we suffer. It leaves out all these things that I listed, which is 99% of our experience. These devils fail to mention.
Exactly. So, why is it that they fail to mention these things? That's because they don't want to be exposed as the true monsters that they are.
Exactly.
They don't want their children to know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want their children to know how they are so wealthy today.
Right.
But they're in fact living off the wealth that their forefathers created from enslaving and afflicting the original nation.
Exactly.
So they don't tell you about the black man and woman history. And why is that? Because if they were to tell you about the black man and woman's history, then you wouldn't want anything to do with them.
Right.
First of all, like I said, they're trying to cover up the fact that they're monsters, because exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're beasts. They're
Right.
monsters, sisters and brothers. Because that's exactly how we view them when they snatched us from our land,
Mm-hmm.
brung us and threw us on ships that weren't even, had no capability of sustaining on that ship. It was not a living environment at all. They just
Right.
threw us in these ships like animals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly what we looked up to them as, monsters.
Right.
So today I have you looking at them as angels,
Mm-hmm. Flip the script on
as being, great,
you. Right. America's great.
God's chosen people.
Spiritual seed Abraham. Wonderful people.
This is what they have you thinking
Mm-hmm.
about them. And they're monsters. They've taken our people away from who they really are in the mind that they originally had. Because if we were, in fact, operating off of the mindset that we had, we would not want anything to do with them.
Not at all.
Sisters and brothers. We wouldn't even want to be next to them.
Right.
In the stores, buying anything, doing any of those things with these people.
Exactly.
If you knew your history, your real history, which is horror, like my husband shared, affliction, 24/7 around the clock. They raped our women. They raped our children. They raped our mothers, our fathers. They raped us all. They sodomized our men. They did all these things to our nation. They burned us alive. Practiced on us without anesthesia. That's how they got their doctor today.
Right.
Performing
That's why it's called practice.
practices, because they
Practicing on
used
you.
to practice these things on us without anesthesia.
Right.
So meaning without
everything.
any pain meds, meaning
Right.
anything to numb what they were doing. So
Exactly.
they were making sure that we had fear
Exactly.
in our minds, in our hearts, all of that. Period. 24/7. They had to keep us in the level of fearing them.
Right.
Because if not, then that's how you keep control
Right.
of people, of a nation. Keep them under you, below you, beneath you, and
Right.
that's exactly what they did to us. They took us. They took. We couldn't read for ourselves.
Right.
We couldn't write. If you looked at a book, you were probably getting beat or killed.
Right. Or your tongue cut out.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they made sure that our nation would not thrive. They made sure that our nation is like it is today.
Exactly.
With what they did to us in our history.
Right.
So it shows that. So the results of it is this: now our nation is a bunch of consumers.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't have any knowledge of self. We don't know who we are.
Right.
We're being attacked by hidden enemies and our physical enemies, and we don't know who neither one of them are.
Right.
So this is their plan for us to be at this point that we are today. And they point their finger at, us.
Right.
How do they're blaming the product, and they're the manufacturer of the product.
Right.
So would you blame the person that bought the product, or blame the person who created the product? Right? You would blame that person, the product maker, and they are the makers of Negro bots. They are the creators of demons. They are the creators. Excuse me. Exactly. What I was making is that they're the creators of Negro bots. They're the creators of niggas. They created these things. They made us like we are today. So who is there to blame? Them, right? And they will be blamed. They will be seen as our enemies.
Right.
They will be seen as all these things if we do understand what took place to us. That's what they will be labeled as.
Right.
But we don't know that. So we're pointing the finger at ourselves because we don't know what happened to us. Oh, we're just lazy. Our people just can't seem to get it, or whatever the case may be, that their demons are talking to you in your ear, telling you, there's a seed in this reality, so you're looking up to them, and you're seeing that they're thriving, but you're not. And that's because they're totally different than you. And that's another thing that you don't know, that our people do not know the knowledge of, which the Son of Man has come and given us that knowledge of demons. Our hidden enemy. And a lot of our nation don't know who our open enemy is, because like I shared, they don't know our history. You don't know that these devils, these Caucasians, they destroyed our nation. Physically. Here in America, the land that you're in right now, they destroyed our nation. And you don't even realize it. You don't even know that you're sleeping with the enemy. You're laying with the enemy. You're friends with the enemy. And once our nation comes to the conclusion that these are our enemies, it's going to be held to pay for our enemies. Because that's the point of this, to keep you asleep. To keep you from realizing what took place to you. To keep you from understanding what your reward would be in the end of all of these. In the end of all this affliction and torturement that you're receiving. Or you didn't even have a knowledge that it will be an end. You didn't even know that there will be, that we had a promise of anything. So that was their tactic, keep you away from all knowledge of self, all knowledge of anything that you know, anything. So they can classify you as cattle, as animals. And that's exactly what they did in their little so-called constitution, classified black people as 3/5 of a human. So if that is God's work, then what kind of, who, if we're all, so they say that, these things, God did this, but this is all because, well, let me not bring it up. Well, I'm not going to bring in that topic. Actually, the fact is, I'm trying to identify is that they're trying to distract us from the Abrahamic covenant, sisters and brothers.
Exactly.
They're trying to take us away from our vision.
Right.
And we don't know what our vision is. And that is a factor alone because they're trying to take us away from something that we don't even know about.
Right.
So that alone is a road to destruction for us because a people without a vision will perish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they made sure, that we did not have a vision and that we will perish. And that's exactly what they're working towards. Us, our destruction, sisters and brothers. They're trying to destroy us, and that is their plan. And the Abrahamic covenant is your only way out.
Right.
And you don't know nothing about it, which is why we're here telling you today that the Abrahamic covenant is your vision. The Abrahamic covenant is your promise. The Abrahamic covenant identifies that you will be in a strange land. It identifies exactly what took place in your nation. A lot of our people don't know anything about why we're here and how we got why. But in this scripture here identifies that you are. It identifies that we meet these descriptions. You know, I said if shoe fits, this shoe is fitting. What happened to our nation? Right? Only the black man and woman of America, though.
Right.
This is the only description that this meets.
Exactly.
Not all the Jamaicans and all the other Africans. No, the black man of America, black man and woman of America are the only people who meets this description. So once you start reading this, you say, we were brought here. Right. We were brought to a strange land. Well, once you know your history, you will understand that you were brought to a strange land, America. Right. You were brought here. Take it from your land, brought here. It said you were enslaved. You will be enslaved and afflicted. You will be enslaved and afflicted. Wasn't we enslaved?
Right.
And then it added on afflicted because that's another topic that you would be dealt with. Basically, what your enemies will put you through. So you'll be enslaved, which is we're all enslaved. And you see here, the jobs you're working in today is a slave. Everyone's slaves. So I said slavery is just another way to cover up what they've done to us, which has afflicted our nation. And it said you'll be enslaved and afflicted.
Right. Two parts.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they did to us. Afflicted our nation. Throwing our babies to alligators, killing us in all type of ways. Right. These people are. You want to call it slavery? That was a horror film, sisters and brothers. That was a horror movie, and it is still continuing. It's still going on today, sisters and brothers. And it said we'll be enslaved and afflicted for 400 years. Who else have been here for 400 years? Right. We have. We're the only nation that we brought here. We brought here in 1555, and it took them 64 years to make us into slaves. Because we weren't slaves when we first brought here because we had our mind. So they had to erase that and make new slaves and by raping us and all the things that they did to produce that first Negro bot that was going to be in control by massa. And that's exactly what they did in 1619. The first Negro bot was released to the plantation. That's the Negro bot. That's the Negro bot era when it started in 1619. And that would be the start of our affliction and of our servitude. 1619. So 1619 to 2019 would be 400 years. And we've been here for 400 years, sisters and brothers. So it said after the 400 years, that the nation that afflicted us, which is these devils, that we identified, that they will be judged.
Exactly what happened.
And that's exactly what happened immediately. 2020 came in with the plague. The judgment started. And America has not been the same since. Right. Would you like to add on anything there?
Like you were saying, the plague came in, boom. And it was supposed to pass over them. But it didn't because, like she explained, it says all these things will happen. So this is what happened in America. They shut down their whole system because they were being affected by the virus, which was supposed to pass over them because they're the ones that are claiming to be angels, God. You see, they proclaim to be God's chosen people. You got America claiming to be spiritual seed of Abraham. You got false Israel claiming to be the true seed of Abraham, claiming to be God's chosen people. So the plague didn't pass over them, but it was supposed to because that was the plague that would kill the firstborn, meaning the elderly, but pass over those with the lamb's blood. So it was supposed to pass over them because they're supposed to have the same DNA as God.
Right. So they're claiming to be God's people. Right. They're claiming to have the lamb's blood. So why wasn't they passed over? Right. What happened? Why was only black Africa and blacks being passed over with his
Africa and
robbers.
Haiti
What's going
adversely
on with
affected.
that?
Right.
What made you shut down your whole economy?
Right.
What made you shut it all down? Because if
blacks-
niggas was dying,
Right.
kill them all. Keep it open.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Run it
They
up.
been
Run it
trying
up.
to kill the black man and woman. So if this is working, then keep it going. So that's exactly. That did not take
Right.
place.
It's
Exactly.
complete opposite.
That's just to show you that
They were in trouble.
exactly they were in trouble there because they were dying from
Right.
the virus. Exactly.
Mhm.
So they know these things, sister and brother. They know they're
Right.
in that time of judgment, which is why they don't want you to realize that you're in that period.
Right.
You're living out the scriptures.
Exactly.
And we're in that period of time of their judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And if we start waking up and realizing this, then
Right.
that's even worse for them, sisters and brothers.
Mhm.
And go ahead.
I was just saying, right? Because if we wake up, we are the judgment.
Right.
You see?
Because never say it's even worse for them because we realize we're the judgment. Now we're going to retaliate. That's
Right.
what they don't want to happen.
Exactly.
They don't want this lion to know that we've been poking on him, messing with him.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Starving,
this
killing
whole
them,
time.
raping them,
Exactly.
murdering
They don't want that lion to know that he
Right.
can roar.
Mhm.
That lion forgot about that part of him.
Mhm.
So he's just laying there, obeying everything
Right.
in the zoo, doing everything that the zookeepers tell him to do, until he realizes who he is
Mm-hmm.
and realizes that he's a lion. He started roaring, started
Right.
making
He got
noise.
sharp.
You
He got
can't
sharp
get nowhere
nails and teeth.
now the zookeepers can't get nowhere near him.
Right. And he's starving.
Or else he's going to eat them.
Not
He's
to
starving now.
mention-
He's starving with knowledge. He needs knowledge.
Mhm.
So now he's about to definitely eat you. It's about to be, sisters and brothers, you don't understand
Right.
how the minds of our people is about to change.
Mm-hmm.
Once this truth comes out,
Exactly.
it's already out, but once you realize it,
Mm-hmm.
the minds of our people are going to change dramatically.
Right.
Dramatically.
Right.
Everything's not going to be sweet and peaches and sweet. None of these things, you think that's, a lot of our people feel like that's what, when God come back,
God is love.
God is love.
God gonna
All these things, but y'all don't, it's
destroy
not,
the enemy.
that's-
Who's the enemy?
exactly, you don't know who the enemy is, and all these things that you don't understand anything because that's what they're teaching you to be confused. Because
Right.
they're blind, and they're
Exactly.
teaching you, they're feeding you so you can feed them. You're paying them money. You're
Right.
giving them money. You're putting food on their table, so they're out to deceive you to keep that food on their table. They're deceiving you 24/7 at these churches
Mhm.
and all these things that these people swear that they're
Right.
motivating you, but they're charging you $500 to get motivated.
Right.
All these things that they're doing, they're feeding off of you, and that's
Mhm.
exactly why
Right.
they produce these demons.
Right.
These house Negroes.
Parasites.
They're
Blood
feeding
suckers.
off, they're sucking us dry.
Ticks.
And we don't realize that we're dying. We're wilting, we're dying. Because we're getting sucked dry
Right.
by these demons and devils
Right. Keeping you within
who
the program.
are keeping us within this program. Exactly.
Mhm.
Pushing the false vision, pushing the dream.
American dream.
A dream that you're going to wake up from and
Nightmare.
find yourself in a nightmare because dreams are not reality.
Right.
And that's what we need to understand. They push American dream.
That's
We
right.
need to be in. This is all a dream, right? This is a dream, right? What you wake up from dreams, right? You
Mhm.
wake up and now you're
You
back
gotta
to
deal
life,
back
right?
with what?
Exactly. So you're gonna wake up from this dream. All the hair's going away. No more weave. No more partying.
Right.
No more drink. All these things are going away now because you're waking up from that dream that you
Right.
you thought that was reality, and it was destroying your mind. It was destroying you. You don't realize that now you're destroyed. You
Right.
thought that dream was real because you put all your energy in there.
Right.
You put all your energy in that dream, and to wake up exhausted
Right.
and can't do anything else. So now you're perishing with the dream.
Right. Exactly. That's what it said. People had a vision would perish. So they exchanged your vision for a dream, a nightmare, to make sure that they finished you off. Because that's the number one goal, to eliminate you, to keep your level of thinking low, to keep constantly attacking your brain, hitting you with illogical thoughts, hitting you with stuff that don't make sense, make-believe, philosophies, fairy tale. You see? Hitting you with 1 + 1 = 11. So you always come up with the wrong answer.
Right.
So you'll never figure it out, which
Right.
destroys you. So this reality, everything that you see in it is tailored to your destruction. The way it's set up was for demons and devils to thrive.
Exactly.
So you see Oprah, you see Denzel Washington, you see Jay-Z, you see Beyonce, you see all these celebrities, you see these entertainers, these people that look like me and you, but they're not us. Those master children, the pastors, the preachers, the people that's supposed to be your friend, the political leaders and the spiritual leaders, they all against you. The demons, you see?
Yes, sir.
Everything that they do is totally against you. Like she said, to keep you within the programming, keep you programmed, keep you pushing the American dream, keep you pushing your destruction, keep confusing you, making you misuse your energy so you don't use it for your vision.
Exactly.
Because your vision is their destruction.
Exactly. Their mind is naturally naturally
Right.
against ours.
Right, that's how it is.
Brothers. So we're forced to think like them.
Right.
We're forced to be like them. We're
Right.
forced to do everything like them because that's the only way you'll be accepted in this reality. That's the only way you'll be able to put food on the table for your children and your family in this
Right.
reality.
Act
Is
other than
to
yourself.
act other than who you are, because as soon as you start acting like yourself, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no longer freedom of speech. It's
Right.
no longer any of these things because you're speaking from yourself,
Right.
because they don't want to hear what a dog got to say in the cat house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear what a cat has to say. You're in my house. You're in the dog house. So whatever these cats have to say, they're gonna have to. They don't.
Right.
Oh, that's hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's. Well, all we're doing is telling the truth, right? But what's hate about it? The actions is what's hate.
You're causing.
The actions is what's hate. Well, y'all hate us.
Right.
That's all. So you see that coming out of our mouths, that
Exactly.
what you all are doing to us. So you feel that's hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just speaking the truth. That's all that
Right.
is. And you can't handle the truth. That's what that is, because what you did, it was hate.
Right.
Because you all hate us, and that's exactly
Right.
what you expect. You're dogs and we're
Mhm.
cats, right? Well, y'all cats, and either way, you get the
Right.
idea. The fact that we're two different,
Right. Two natures can't
Two
coexist
different
in the
natures.
same environment.
so one has to submit to the other.
Exactly.
And that's what our nation has to do, was submit to these devils.
Mhm.
And that's exactly why we're acting like them.
Right.
We're doing things like them.
Exactly.
But because we had to submit to how they were. Because if not, you would not be here today.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters and brothers,
Right.
you had to submit to their mindset or else. Because it was either this mindset or this mindset.
Right.
And the cat's mindset is what was ruling the whole reality that you're living in. So you're a bunch of dogs, and you don't realize that you're different from these cats, but because you grew up with them and all these things. But y'all look you look different,
Mm-hmm.
different. White people, black people. Caucasian people and black people are two different people.
Right. But they worry
So
about
they
the little stuff.
exactly they say we're all
We all
people.
we gotta
We're
drink,
all-
eat food, we
Exactly.
gotta use the restroom, do certain
Right.
things.
So that exactly think
bleed
as
the
if,
same.
for example, we're all, let's say for example, animals, right? Let me give an example of animals. You have giraffes, monkeys, gorillas, all these things. They all are animals.
Right.
Yes, they're all animals. That's correct. Like we're all humans, right? Correct.
Right.
But they do not all do the same thing.
Right.
They do not all operate the same
Right.
way. They do
Different
not all
DNA.
eat. They do not all eat the same foods.
Mhm.
They don't bathe the same. They don't do any of these things the same way. So they're all animals, but they're different animals.
Right.
And if these animals were to be in the same, literally in the same house with one another,
Yeah,
that would be
it won't work out.
confusion.
Right.
That won't even work out, sisters and brothers. A giraffe with a gorilla having a baby. A giraffe and a gorilla decide to have a baby. That's exactly what they've done to our nation.
Right.
They've corrupted the human reality. That's what's taking place. Because we shouldn't be with
Right. That's what it says.
these humans.
It said we
These
shouldn't-
humans should not be,
You shouldn't mix with other races. Mix
right.
race.
You gotta understand that, like these
Race
animals,
mix.
it shouldn't be no cat having a baby with a dog, right?
Right.
It shouldn't be no Caucasian man having a baby with the original woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what's taking. So you got a Caucasian man having a baby with original, because that's going to create what? Just so it gets another topic, because
Right. That's biology.
you can't really say that. Well, because we have our whole nation is created. Well, we know our God. His mother is also a Caucasian woman, and you gotta understand that the father is what carries the bloodline. though. So the Father is who you are, regardless, due to what they've done to us. Now we have to understand that the Father is who carries that bloodline, regardless of the skin tone of a person.
Right.
Because now that the corruption has been done to the nations and things like that, we all are looking the same. We all look different. We all look light skinned. This. We're all now. You got these. Now you got these zebras looking like the color of a monkey, but they're zebras. Nothing changed about the zebras. They're still zebras, but they look like they resemble these monkeys. Right. Why is they? But they're still zebras. So that's the confusion that they've caused. Destroy. They say they still kill and destroy. Right. That's exactly what they're doing. Destroying things, causing confusion. Mm-hmm. And that's confusion, which is why we have to identify that the black man, the man carries the bloodline. Right. And that's why they try to do that, because they don't want you to realize that the man carries the bloodline. They are producing demon children. We have a race of people that are not, because they look like us. That don't mean we're all skin folk. Yeah, we can be skin, but we're not. Black, exactly. We're skin folk, but we're not kin folk. We're not blood folks, but we're skin folk. We look alike, so they try to use that tone and what they and to say that we're all brothers, we're all sisters, we're all. No, we're not.
That's how you do it.
Exactly. Exactly. So. What was the point? Yes, sir. Right.
Oh, right. We was getting to the point that they was mixing us together.
Exactly.
And we different people. We're not the same.
We're not the same.
You know, we got two different natures.
We don't even think the same. We don't even hear the same. We don't even, you know, our process, the way we, you know, make decisions are not even the same. Right. Which is why it's always conflict. Why is there so much conflict in the black community? Because you have two different minds on attacking one and oppressing one another, but you have to understand that they're the biggest oppressor. Their minds was ruling, so we're having to submit. So, even if we do have a problem and speak up for ourselves, you still eventually have to say, yes, sir, master. Mm-hmm. Because you are not going to lose that job that's feeding your family regardless. Right. Mm-hmm. You might feel like a man, but you're not a man because you still got to obey master. Right. Still telling him, yes, sir, regardless of what he say to you. Mm-hmm. Because you need that money on that table. Who's giving it to you? Right. Master. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have to understand that we're still under master's control. Right. And a lot of the brothers and things like that don't want, or sisters as well, don't want to come to that conclusion that you're not in control. Exactly. And they want to stay in delusion. However, staying in delusion will only lead to your destruction, sisters and brothers. Because that delusion is what's going to cause you to feel, you feeling like basically your pride is going to destroy you. Right. Understanding that these people have a grip on us, on our nation. Mm-hmm. We have to go to these jobs. Right. We have to do these things in order to. So that's period. You're in control. You know what I'm saying? You're not in control. You're being controlled. Right. So yes, it does. You know, we got to understand that in order to be back in control, we have to take our power back. We have to get out of here. Right. That's the end of this result. Right. America, we have to get out of America. Exactly.
But that's not going to solve nothing. We tried that. They've tried that. They've tried it over time. And what have they done? Nothing. Exactly. It's never gotten any better for the black man and woman.
Which is why I said in the Abrahamic covenant right here, it said after the 400 years, it said the nation that afflicts you will be judged, and it said that you will leave out.
Exactly. Leave out of America.
Leave out of where?
Not leave out of their ways.
That would be identifying the land that we're being afflicted in, right? It said that we was afflicted in this land, this strange land. It said we would leave out of it. Exactly. Back. Where are we going back to? What back? That's identifying things. We're going back to the place they took us from.
Right. Back to our fathers.
He said we're going back to the land in peace. Mm-hmm. Sisters and brothers, the best part of planet Earth. Right. Not the poorest part. That's where you're in right now. The poorest part of planet Earth. Mm-hmm. That's nothing you don't know. This is the poorest part of the planet. Right. Because if it's the richest part, why are you going to other places to get? Why are you going to the other poor places to get rich, to get things for your country? Right. If this was the richest part of the planet, you won't need to go anywhere. Everybody be coming to America to get their oil. Everybody be coming to America to get everything that they need. All the jewels, all the stones, everything that y'all looking for in other places, it will come here. So that alone is telling you this America's not the best part of the planet. America's nothing, sisters and brothers. Right. Nothing compared to what your reward is, what you've what you originated from, sisters and brothers. We don't even understand. We can't even fathom the thought of what we're missing and what we're about to experience.
Right.
Because we've been in hell for 400 something years. That's all we've seen. That's all we know. Like I said, that's why our mind's the way we are, because that's all we know. So once we start knowing something else, figuring out something else, knowing who you are, which we're telling you right now, this knowledge, you'll start thinking another way.
Right. That's
Your
what they don't
attitude
want.
might be another change.
That's what they don't want.
You know,
Right.
you have another option.
Right.
So now you're thinking another way. You're thinking like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta help this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I'm getting these things. I'm going home to greatness, to mansions. The poorest people of our
the most poorest person will have a mansion.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Exactly.
Right.
Don't
Those
do
in
that.
the kingdom would have a mansion.
The way that they have this reality is so backwards and messed up. It's no balance in it at all. That balance is going to balance out. Which is why they say, "Will the rich man make it into heaven?"
Right. It's right. No.
Sisters and brothers, no. It may feel good, may look good right now, but in the long run, that is not good, because you don't understand how much of an imbalance they are in. Because how are you living in a $1 million mansion home, and you have people live poor on the street?
Right.
You have people with nothing on the street.
Right.
All these things, and we all get the same amount of energy, right? So that means that they're killing themselves. On top of that, they're building up a pressure. So they're building up something for their self-destruction, sisters and brothers. Exactly. So you gotta understand that. Stop you looking at the,
Right. So don't look at that.
You look at the picture, but look what's deep.
Right.
What's caused? Exactly. So you just feel like,
you know what's going on the inside.
They got this. They got these things. They got this. But you're not knowing that
this person got a tumor.
Is not okay. You have to have a balance in life. Right. And they try to make it to where you got middle class, third class. You got this class, you got, to put them on levels, you know what I'm saying? To put people on, because they like the fact that, they like that feeling that, or I wouldn't say we're going to have, when we get home, it's going to be similar.
There are different classes, but we are all, right, no one's better than each other.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's what they messing up.
Exactly, they try to make it as if they're better, or...
Right. You need every part of the body. If you're a body, you need every part of your body.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You don't make fun of your butt because it's a butt. No, right. You need your butt. You need these things. You need your toes. You need the fingers. You need these things. So everybody should be treated equally. Everything should be operating smooth. You see? But they treat you better because you the head or you the shoulders. You at the top.
Yeah.
You see?
Right.
It's not right.
Exactly. Because if your whole body's not functioning properly, then you're
suffering too.
Exactly. You're suffering. So you can't say, I don't like my hand. And like you need your hand. You can't. You need. You know what I'm saying. So every part of the body matters, and they do that separation. That's why there's always confusion. There's always something going on with the body. Right. The body's always sick because it's always confusing the black nation. All these things happen because that's what they cause these things. Right. They cause these things. Their illnesses, all this to this body. It's sick. That's exactly what. That's what they produce. Right. I mean, they can't produce anything else. Mm-hmm. They're wicked.
And they got mismatched parts in their body that don't even belong. We don't belong to their body, but they got us welded in. They got us, you know what I'm saying?
America wasn't great without us.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Even if it was great, you see.
Right. If it was great, we made it.
Right. We made it. What was they?
When it became great when we got here. Right. How about that?
Exactly.
It became great when we got here.
Right. Because they had nothing for 5,500 years. They had nothing.
Right. Because they had us.
Right. They couldn't come up with nothing until they got us.
Period. Yes, sir. And that's why they start padding everything. All these things. Why hadn't they had that before? Right. What happened? Why didn't they have no water before? Why didn't they have no satellites before? Y'all had these black people over here. Why did these things? Why didn't they have a light?
Right.
They didn't have a light bulb. Why did y'all have these things before these black people came over here 400 some years ago? And that wasn't long ago. Mm-hmm. That's not too long ago.
Right.
So why do y'all have these things yet? What? All of a sudden this thing is osmosis came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And we've been here trillions of years, and these things just came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. No, sisters and brothers, they invented it. Sisters and brothers, they have warped our minds to make us feel like they are the creators of everything. They're so powerful. All these things that you're thinking, because that's what they want you to think, that they're great. They gotta paint a picture of something, because if they don't, then they're gonna. all they got is what they've done. You know what I'm saying? So they got to paint a fake picture. They got to do the propaganda. They got to tell you They got to tell you lies.
Right.
That's what America is. Big propaganda. That's all America is. This is a bunch of. It's all built on lies.
Right.
It's built on slavery. It's built on maximum profit, minimum overhead. All these things are built on corruption. So America itself. Period is a lie. I wouldn't believe anything these news people are telling you. Anything that they're telling you. Not one thing, because they don't know. Because they're a bunch of blind people leading the blind. And they're going to be blind because they can't understand these scriptures. They're the devil. They not one of them will understand what these scriptures are saying. So they're blind leading the blind. So everything that they're trying to tell you, all these things that they're trying to say that is taking place or trying to lead you. They know they're blind as well.
Right.
Understanding that.
They telling you they plan.
Exactly.
But they plan ain't the one that's going to prevail. It's Allah's plan. Allah's the best of planners. And they don't know Allah's plan. That's the plan they can't read. Because if they could, they would cut out the Abraham covenant. They would have cut these things out. There's certain things they would have cut out in the Bible. They couldn't even mess with it. They couldn't temper it. They couldn't temper with it. You see? So people like, the Bible man-made, man touched that, man made that. Right. Well, if this was man-made, then they should have definitely took this out. The covenant. I would have took this out immediately. Because that's going to be a problem. You see? These black people get their hands on this.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Because they don't mess with it because they're trying to fit it. Because it's their guidance too. They use it for their guidance. So they ain't grabbing it and snatching stuff out of it because they need it to fit scripture because they don't have thoughts. They don't have
prophecy.
Right.
They'll be taking away their sight.
They don't blind themselves. Right.
Like, come on.
They're already blind, so if they take it away, then they completely.
They're taking off their glasses now. They still can't see. They got glasses. They got the glasses, but they still can't barely see.
Right.
So if they take them completely off, they definitely not going to see. Exactly. So they definitely need that Bible, sisters and brothers, and scriptures.
They need it.
Are there, and they have not a man-made. Yeah, we're man, aren't we? Aren't we humans? Yeah, we made it. Yeah, it was created by a man. What does that mean?
Right.
Man-made. Well, ghost made it?
Mm-hmm.
What? That's why. What is that? That's why they don't even. There's no sense in what's being said here. Okay, sisters and brothers. Yes, a man better have made it. A person better have made. What else have made it?
Right.
Sisters and brothers. So that's what they try to get you in that world. Like, who else is going to create? Who else wrote these things?
The Almighty God.
That's what they try to keep you in that la la land and that spooky land. Oh, that's a man. People made that a person. Who else? God didn't write. God didn't. What are y'all? That's why we try to understand that we're God. You are God, sisters and brothers. We're all God. That's another form of saying a people. God, a people. That's another saying.
Right.
And because they're gods. You know, you gotta understand that they're gods. Exactly.
People, right.
Certain people. Exactly.
Devils, people, demons, people, Satan, people.
Exactly.
You know?
So understanding that when you're saying that God wrote these things, there's many aspects. That's another conversation. Aspects of God, what you are. However, that's another conversation, like I shared. Well, from here we're going to move forward into the Satan because we've gotten a little far.
Yep. Okay. I can do that. Right. Hop start right into that. Right.
All right, sisters and brothers. So Satan is false Israel.
Right.
Satan, it identifies Satan in the scriptures.
Yeah, exactly.
It said Satan is a god.
Right. Satan is a god in the world.
In this world. In this world. Understanding when it said the God of this world is identifying the God of this reality.
Right.
The God that you're this world, the mindset of this world.
Right.
Is the mindset of Satan, false Israel. That's what's taking place, sisters and brothers.
Exactly.
So understand that Israel is Satan. He said that Israel is God's people.
Right.
Huh? What do you mean they're Satan?
Right.
That's God's people.
Right.
They were placed there in Palestine. Those are God's chosen people, the Jews.
Right.
But the scripture says that Satan is false Israel. What in the what?
That's what it says.
What? That's not what they tell you at church.
Right.
That's not what they tell you when you see on your televisions. That's not what they preach.
No.
What the scripture says in Genesis, but the scripture says in
Right.
Revelations, which is the angel, it identifies in chapter 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
False Israel is Satan.
Right. The ones saying themselves Jews to be and not they are. Lying.
Oh.
You see? The blasphemy out of the ones saying Jews to be themselves and not they are, but Satan. But they don't read this part of the Bible.
Why?
Why not? You see? Because they were told not to.
They were to read that, they would be snitching on themselves because it
Right.
identifies it verbatimly.
Mm-hmm.
That they're lying.
Right.
They're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters and brothers, lying. Just
Right.
put that in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
What did it say? Could you read it again?
Okay, it says, in the ones saying themselves Jews to be and not they are, but they are lying.
He said, who is claiming Jews to be?
Right.
Who?
The Jews.
Other than false Israel.
The Jewish people,
The Jewish
right?
people. Claiming Jews to be, but not they are.
Mm-hmm.
But the synagogue of Satan. They're Satan, sisters and brothers.
Right. Just that simple.
They're Satan. That just told you right there that these people who are claiming, just like I said, the Abrahamic covenant, our description.
Right.
This scripture right here meets their description.
It's clear. Right. And they want you to believe that Satan is some spooky spiritual entity that's in hell waiting to burn you up, waiting to torment and torture you. But it's a physical person. It's physical people.
Exactly. Who have been destroying and doing all the things that they claim that is going to get done down there.
Right.
They've been doing it to the planet,
Right.
to the earth,
Right.
to the people. What's going on? To the minds of the people. Destroying the minds of the people.
Right.
Stealing, killing, and destroying. Sisters
Right.
and brothers, that's exactly what's going on physically here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. That's why they try to tell you, keep you in that mindset of, oh, these things is, when you die, you're going to
Right.
go here. This is what's happening. No, this is what's happening to you
Mm-hmm.
right now. And you don't realize that you are, in fact, worshiping Satan.
Right.
And you think you're worshiping God.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the acts of God would be
Right.
to murder,
Right.
to take people from their land. That's exactly what they did in Palestine, if I'm correct. Took all their people, killed them, took them off their land, kicked them off their land,
Mm-hmm.
stole their land, went over
Right.
there and portrayed as that God chose people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the works of God. And they think that they're supposed to be blessed, but everybody else is supposed to be cursed, right?
Right.
Clearly, because that's exactly what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? They think that they're big and bad. They can drop bombs. They can do all these
Right.
things
They got nuclear
Right.
power.
because they're God's people.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they're trying to justify.
Right.
Why they're being evil
Ain't like
and
God's people.
killing, stealing, destroying. This is their justification
Right.
of because they're God's people.
Right.
But it identifies that they're Satan,
Mm-hmm.
sisters and brothers,
Right.
because the action shows otherwise.
Right. Actions speak louder than words. I mean,
Yes, sir.
right. Yes, ma'am. Right. Sorry, it sounded crazy. Right.
Yes, sir. So they're showing otherwise.
Exactly.
And they're doing the works of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that is here in America are also following along with that.
Right.
In order to push America's dream, you have to be pushing Satan's dream.
Exactly.
That's what it is. That's what it is. They're in control of
Right.
it. And this is all to destroy the black man and woman.
That's right. It's hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
These
Little me that they don't care about.
They don't care about us, man.
Yeah.
They ain't worried about us. That's what you think. That's
What
you don't.
can we do? We ain't got nothing.
You don't think right. That's the thing. You don't know that you got something. You don't know how important you are. You don't know there's a way being prepared for you. You don't know. You don't
You used
know
to be
that.
warriors. You don't know who
Right.
you were. You were warriors, queens. You were brothers. You were warriors as well.
Mm-hmm.
You were not out here with your shirt. You weren't out here looking crazy, all scrawny,
Right, with your butt
walking
hanging
around with slippers on, with your butt
With
hanging
your
out, with
jeans.
your pants halved on your knees.
Right.
All these things. You were not walking around like that. You walking up with you. You had your head high. You were strong, sisters and brothers. This is what they did to our nation. They
Right.
made us feel like we're nothing, and you
Mhm.
are, sisters
Right.
and brothers. That is not who you were. They made sure that that was the image of
Mhm.
you for this time because
Destroyed
people
your
look at
credibility.
like, oh, that's
Messed
God's
you up.
people.
Right. Nah, it couldn't be.
Oh, those God's people. Those
Mm.
those niggers. Those they don't even know what 1 + 1 is.
Those uneducated savages. Them silly.
That was their
consumers.
point. For when this had place, the whole world would look at us as clowns.
Right.
Look at us as a
Fools.
bunch of fools, not God's chosen people.
Fools.
So when they get that red light to attack,
right, eliminate.
When this event takes place over there in false Israel is destroyed, they're gonna get that memo to attack all black. And what are they gonna do? Right. They're gonna do exactly. They're gonna do that exactly, sisters and brothers, because nobody cares about us. Right. We don't even. What they say, we don't even care about ourselves, right? But that's not true because we don't know who we are. That's why. Right. However, they're gonna attack us, sisters and brothers. That's their plan. Right. This is why they had you written down as 3/5 of a human. Make sure, because they read the scriptures. Right. They know the apocalypse was coming. What is the apocalypse? Why was it identified as apocalypse? Right. This is Revelation, sisters and brothers. The original name of Revelations was identified as the apocalypse. The first thing that pops up in your mind when you think about apocalypse is it's basically you're thinking about zombies and people eating each other. All these things. That's the first thing that comes in my mind. So they have to change that name. Just be more soothing to the mindset because this is the last book of the Bible. This is the last stage, right? This is the last stage we'll be going through. Because they tell you the Bible is past tense too. Sisters and brothers, that's another thing. But they know that we're living these things out, sisters and brothers. So we're in that last book now, which is the apocalypse. And if you actually read it yourself, you will see that there's nothing but destruction. Right. The God is identifying destroying nations, sisters, of people. Right. He's not singling out children. Right. He's not singling out anybody special. No, he's destroying all those who afflicted his people. They're being judged. Right. So if you was to read and understand, just go and read yourself and comprehend for yourself and not worry about what the pastor is telling you to go to. You read these scriptures yourself. Read it yourself. And you will see that these things are not all a lot of land and peaches and grapes, sisters and brothers. Right. And Deuteronomy identifies that you will be eating your own flesh. All these things that is identifying all these things are being identified because these are identifying what's going to take place in the last days, of this corrupted society, sisters and brothers. And it's identifying what's going to take place once false Israel is taken out. Right. False Israel, they're going to be uprooted. Right. The scriptures identifies once God's people are placed in their land, they won't be uprooted. Right. So that's a sign that this event has not taken place yet. Right. God's people has not been identified yet. That means they're not there yet, right? Who else is the runner-up to be God's people, though? Chosen people. The black man and woman of America. And when they're taken out, that's going to change the mind of the whole planet, sisters and brothers. That's what they are. Satan is the god of this world, sisters and brothers. So once that's destroyed, that's the mind of the people. That's how they function. They're God's people. They're special. That's how they function. That's how they live their life. That's how they keep their ego up, because we know that they're monsters, and their history shows that they're monsters. But this image kept that they were beautiful, right? But once that image is destroyed, oh my goodness, sisters and brothers, everybody's about to be exposed. They're exposed.
Hideous monsters.
The sun is coming out to a vampire. A vampire is not what happens when the sun comes out to a vampire. The vampire starts it's destroyed, right?
Like melting.
Melting. That's exactly what's going to take place. That light's about to be bright as ever. Right. Bright as ever. This truth is about to be bright as ever. All around the planet, sisters and brothers, and they're about to be exposed. That light, that spotlight's going to be directly on these devils, and they're about to be exposed for the monsters that they are. Right. And everything that they've done to our nation they're going to reap what they've sown. And our nation is going to make sure that they do that, because we are their consequence.
Right. Exactly. Right, we are their consequence. They cut our tongue out, and now we're here to cut theirs out. They smashed our babies' heads in, now we're here to grab their babies by the heel and smash their heads in. Now we here to do unto them as what they done to us, which is what they always feared. They feared that we would multiply, and once they went to war with their enemies, that we would, you see, get with their enemies and get vengeance and get revenge on them.
That's what they feared. Exactly, said that in Exodus.
Right.
So they feared that we will come against them. Wake up and take vengeance.
Right. And they right.
And you're exactly right. That's why they making sure they got Sexy Red, they got all the people on the TV, they got the usher, they got everything keeping you distracted.
Pacifying.
Keep them distracted.
Right.
Keep the Super Bowl, whatever, keep them distracted. Keep them niggas entertained. Because if they realize what we did to them and who they are, we can't have that.
Right.
So let's keep them distracted, keep them until we get them, keep them, and that's what we're gonna bring along these Mexicans. We're gonna bring these Mexicans over here to take away their job, take away all these things from us while they're distracted. Let's bring these foreigners over, so they're gonna, replace them. They don't realize they're about to be in the transition. That we're about to wipe them out. They don't even realize they're about to wipe them out. They don't even realize they're in the transition stage right now. Because why all of a sudden there's all these immigrants at these jobs?
What's up with all that?
Every single job is full of them, sisters and brothers.
Right.
Red flag. That should be telling you something.
Right.
They're keeping you asleep. Let's rock about. They're rocking you, keeping that baby asleep, keeping you asleep.
Keep them unaware.
Make sure you're not aware.
Right.
So they can just
easier to kill.
Take you out, sisters and brothers, and that's their plan.
No fight.
They plan on replacing you, taking you out, sisters and brothers. But that's not what we know that they're not going to see, because this light is going to shine, like we said, it's going to shine bright, and it's going to expose them exactly for who they are. And they're not going to prevail. They're not. Because we stay on the mission 24/7 every day, exposing who Satan is, exposing these lying devils for who they are. And as long as one soldier is on the battlefield, the job is going to get done, sisters and brothers.
Right, they have to get all of us. They have to get rid of all of us. You got to get rid of everybody. You see, that's why they're working day in, day out to get rid of everybody, to get you to accept reparations, to get you to accept 6, 7 states, to get you to accept all these things, these trinkets and rewards that are worth nothing.
Nothing. Reparations, all these things, that's all in the tactic to take you away from the Abrahamic covenant, get you to forfeit your promise, sisters and brothers. They take all the bloodshed. They want you to take some coins. Some coins from bloodshed. Your mother for killing your parents, for killing your babies in front of you, raping your babies in front of you. They're raping you in front of your babies. All these things that they did to us, they want you to take some money for it that they're going to take back because you're a consumer.
Right. You can't do nothing for yourself. You don't know how to do for yourself.
You're just going to give it right back to massa.
Right, because what you going to do? You don't know how to do nothing. You don't know how to do nothing. You can't do nothing. You don't know how to build nothing. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know about mathematics.
And they know this. That's why they're telling you these things. Oh, take this money, do these things. Oh, and they're giving all these things, making it seem like they're giving to blacks, and now they're giving to their house Negroes.
Right.
Let's start there. That's not us. They're giving it to their children. That's their children. That's why they're being given things, because they didn't get masses love for free. Right. They didn't get to receive all the things that that they should have. Right. That's for this 400 some years they've been alive. We know they were produced here as well. Right. So they didn't get that love of their fathers. They didn't get to live in mansions. They didn't get all the things. Even though they were their children, they still didn't get the perks of the black man. They still didn't get the perks of fully being a devil, because you were still a nigga. You still look like us. Right. You still a nigga.
That's why they blame us.
So that's why these house Negroes are going to be so angry that their reality is over, that they just got started, right? They're just reality just got started. Massa's just now. My daddy is just now accepting me, and he about to die. Right. Oh my God! Like this, what you mean? So that's going to be a whole nother war. You thought that Black Lives Matter was nothing compared to what's about to take place here. The war that's about to take place here, because they're going to fight. These house Negroes are going to fight back as well, because this is their land. Right. This is their land. And you're telling me to get off, that I have to leave, or you're telling me, not telling, well, that's exactly what Farrakhan he don't want to leave because this is their land. But they're going to be there because they got to understand that their father's going to be attacking them.
Right. That's the problem.
So they're going to be attacking me. This is my land. It's going to be like I said,
the thing is, right, they love Massa. They had nothing but love for Massa.
Yes.
And Massa used them as straight leverage to destroy our nation. And now they're going to try to partner with Massa when Massa come to destroy all blacks. And they're like, we with you, Massa. They're going to hesitate. And Massa going to let them know that they here to kill you. I'm here to kill you too, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Girl. And that's what's going to shock them. Put them in shock because our people, we leaving. We leaving out. And we don't want them. And they don't want them.
They don't want me. So that's going to crush
now they're in a tough place.
Exactly.
And this one is, that's right, that's a whole other story, but, right, so.
Yes, sir. So, as we share, we're going to keep shining this light, and it's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter every day. And there's nothing that the enemy can do to stop it, to stop us, to stop the Southern Man, to stop this message.
They can't stop it. They couldn't
won't.
stop it if they tried. And we ain't gonna stop. You see, and we got the protection, we got the knowledge, we got all these things, so you can come on.
Exactly.
You can come against us if you want. It's only gonna hurt you.
And that's why we're trying to give our people this knowledge as well. If people, your protection, this message is for you. This is a free gift. This is, you already, you know how you just, it's not a free gift because you already done what you know, you already reaped all the, you've been here for 400 years being afflicted, sisters and brothers. And now we're giving you that knowledge back.
You already put the work
so
in.
You won't have to continue to suffer.
Right.
This knowledge is for you.
Right.
Ask questions. Start asking us whatever you want to know about who you are, sisters and brothers, because we are here for you. We're not against you. Right. However, anybody else that's not telling you about the Abrahamic covenant is, in fact, against you, sisters and brothers.
The demons, the devils, the Satan, the Lucifer.
Exactly. We're not telling you you're sinful. We're not telling you any of these things because we know the reason why you went through, the reason why you are the way you are today, because of the manufacturers, not the products.
And we was in opposition.
Exactly. And I'm still in this position, sisters and brothers. We're all still in this position.
Right. Exactly.
We're all learning.
We still work. Right. We're still learning.
And we're all growing in this knowledge.
You know what I'm saying?
However, not knowing anything is a highway to destruction.
Right.
So that's why we are making sure and stay on that mission that the black man and woman starts to wake up to make sure that our brothers and sisters get this message.
Right. Exactly. Keep feeding you this information. Take away the bad information. Take away the bad water. Give you clean water. Give you good information.
Right.
Help you follow. Help you turn you around. You see? Get you from going the wrong direction, which is headed to a brick wall, and get you going to the right direction. Get you headed to your vision. Invest in yourself.
Exactly. Right. And being who you are, truly, your full self, yourself.
Right.
Not being other than yourself, being yourself.
Exactly.
We're not teaching you to be other than yourself because that's who you are. We're teaching you the direction of how to guide your nature.
Right.
Your nature and yourself is, you can't change who you are, but your nature is what we're going to bring out because it's already there.
Right.
It's just you just don't know that you're being suppressed. You don't understand that you're operating off of a whole other process, not yours.
Right.
So this is a Windows computer. You got an Apple. You think you got an Apple mindset.
Right.
And this Apple computer don't work. I mean, this Apple products don't work on this Windows computer. But you're making these products work on this Windows. It's not. It's like it's malfunctioning.
Right.
It's working a little bit if you twist the cord a little bit.
You rigging it. You rigging APKs in. You switching up the to make it compatible.
Right.
I don't mean that it's still compatible. It's not compatible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You forcing it.
We have two different computers. We have two different mindsets, two different ways of how we operate.
Right.
And we're operating off of our enemy's mind, which is killing this computer, which is destroying us, destroying our body. It's destroying our body because our body is not operating like it should be.
Right.
Because we don't know who we are, and they have taken our minds away from us, so now this is all we know to operate off our enemy's mindset. And that's why we're here, to give you your mindset, your operating system that's going to keep you thriving and alive and keep you to be able to receive your reward in the Abrahamic covenant.
Right.
Because a lot of our people are going to perish during this time.
I'm sure, and brothers are going to definitely need this information. They're going to need the operation system, which is the 5 mathematical pillars, to even make it out of this reality. because that's how you reach the last pillar of Islam. But you need these pillars to remove yourself out of this reality. You see what I'm saying? So, like you said, you need the mind. You need your right mind. You need the pillars, which is your protection against evil, protection against being destroyed, because these devils gonna come against you.
And they are coming against you, and you're in judgment right now. You're in the judgment right now, which is why it is very important at this time for you to know who you are, because in your nature, because you're in the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you reap what you sow.
Right.
So these things are taking place immediately.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more mercy.
Right.
You're in a time of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're getting this message out to our people, so they know, so y'all get this knowledge. So you are able to be in control. You're able to be in control. You won't be in the dark and not wonder if you're going to be in a car accident in the next second, or know that you're going to, be pulled over next, and you'll be able to see these things, not see these things, but control what's going on in your life. Because right now you don't have any control. Right. You don't know. You're just doing whatever.
Right.
And you don't even realize you're in a time of judgment.
Right.
So doing whatever like you used to do, whatever back before 2020, it's not the same as doing whatever that you're doing today. Mm-hmm. Because you're in a time of judgment.
Right.
It's a whole other time period you're living in. So these your consequences coming immediately, sisters and brothers. So our nation, sisters and brothers, the fact is that we have to gain our knowledge of self back, and that's the only way we are able to escape our destruction in this reality.
Right.
Having full knowledge of self, understanding your Abrahamic covenant. That's knowledge of self. Understanding that you have a reward. Understanding that you have a hidden enemy. Understanding that you have an open enemy. All these things are knowledge of self, sisters and brothers. So if you understand these things, you're slowly coming into understanding who you are and what's taking place around you. And also the 5 fundamental pillars of Islam is what's going to, is your protection.
Mm-hmm.
On top of knowledge of self.
Right.
This is your protection that you're going to need. This is also knowledge. These are all things that you're going to need to start uploading who you are, sisters and brothers. So just alone knowing who your enemies are, it's starting to brighten that light that you didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that you have a hidden enemy. That alone, that's all you get.
Right.
That's a light that you didn't have. We're not expecting you to just, we're not expecting our people to just get everything immediately, right? Because it takes time, and I understand that. So if it's one thing that you get, take that one thing and move forward with it. Because if the enemy is going to get destroyed regardless. So if you understand who demons are, you take that and you let it be known who they, you understanding that is giving you that guidance that you need. You're no longer blinded now. It's giving you the eyesight that you need.
Right, you hear the truth, you share it with your brothers and sisters like how you heard it.
Exactly.
You know better, you do better. So if you teach them, they know better, they do better.
Exactly. It's going to continue, and the whole body is we're going to all understand, So,
right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, do you have anything else to say before we bring this to a close?
Like you said, you must know your enemies. Because if you don't, then you are indeed your enemy.
Yes, sir. So with that, we're going to bring this to a close, and we'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.